àròpọ̀ rí. Èmi kì á máa pé àyọkú òbí lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ibi ò ní bá wa. Ọmọ tó bá ti ní kí ìyá òun má sùn náà ò ní fojú boro. Mò ń bọ̀ dókè lọ́hùn-ún.
Iṣẹ́ wa múlẹ̀ wá fún ilẹ̀ ìbí wa. Kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàyè rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ní pé bàtìbẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àmìnira ní ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú ọkàn rere àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Olúwa dìde, bọ́ sí ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀.
Welcome.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ìkànnì yìí. Ojú ò ní tì wá torí pé ojú báyìí kì í tì ní alẹ́. Ibi ò ní bá wa. Ẹ kú oṣù tuntun lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Oṣù yìí máa rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn. Oṣù yìí máa rọ̀ ẹ́ lọ́rùn màmá. Ó ò ṣàmì. Ibi ò ní bá ọ, kò ní bèmi náà o nínú oṣù tá a wọ̀ yìí. Ara rere là á fi lò lágbára lọ́wọ́ Olódùmarè. Ṣùgbọ́n tí n bá sọ wípé inú mi dùn, mo kàn ń tàn wá ni, mo sì ń parọ́ tàn wá ni. Inú mi ò dùn rárá. Rí pé lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí àti ro chat o àti pé ká ṣètò kò tiẹ̀ wá sọ́kàn mi. Ìdí ni wípé tẹ́ bá wo ètò tòní, tẹ́ bá wo kókó ẹ̀, ó sọ pé broken system, broken life. Àwọn tí a wà lókèèrè, ẹni tó bá darapọ̀ mọ́ mi tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tí ò fẹ́ parọ́ tó jólóòtọ́ ènìyàn á mọ̀ pé àwa tá a wà lókèèrè gbogbo epo tá à ń rọ ojú olókùn là ń rọ sí. Àwọn kan bẹ nínú òtútù burúkú ló ń jà lọ́wọ́. Mi ìrírú òtútù eléyìí rí. Ó ti wá kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ti wá kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹnìkan pè mí ni nínú fi bí mi tí mo fi jáde. N tó sì pè mí ní fún ni pé ó ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àwọn bíi mélòó kan wọ́n gbé wọn ní ọ̀nà Ọ̀rẹ̀ sí ọ̀nà Oǹdó Ọ̀rẹ̀ road pé wọ́n gbé wọn. Mo sì ṣàkíyèsí pé ó ti pẹ́ tí nǹkan rádaràda yìí ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ò nítumọ̀. Àìmọye kí la tiẹ̀ fẹ́ kà lẹ́yìn adé tó pèlé. Ó bani nínú jẹ́ pé ipò tá a bára wa yìí. Ẹni tó wá ń ṣe mí ní kàyéfì ni wípé lẹ́nu lọ́ọ́lọ́ yìí àwọn ambassador tán yàn àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ kọ́ fi fọ́nrán yìí hàn yín ná kẹ́ ẹ lè wo nǹkan tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀nà Ọ̀rẹ̀ ní eléyìí tó ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí n fọ̀nà tọ̀rẹ̀ yẹn hàn wá. Eléyìí rà bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ọ̀nà Kwara. Mo sì ń wá tọ̀nà Ọ̀rẹ̀ yẹn tán ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fi ránṣẹ́ sí mi ní ìsìn tó bí mi nú tí mo fi wá sí orí ìkànnì yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n tó wá ń yà mí lẹ́nu pé irú Ọ̀mọkèrè Reno Ọ̀mọkèrè, ṣé ẹni tó sọ wípé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ó gbégbó tó sọ lójú gbogbo ayé tó lọ sí national television tó lóun ti lọ sí Chicago University àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Kí ló ń gan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi fi ń ṣe? Ṣé kinní ló ń ṣe 40 laws of book ló ń lò ní àbí kò yé mi. Ṣé nítorí pé ó sọ pé kó wá ọ̀tá mọ́ra jù pé kó wọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mọ́ra. Èmi sì mọ̀ wípé nígbà míì àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí kì í ṣiṣẹ́ nítorí pé ọmọlúwàbí kì í ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó yà mí lẹ́nu púpọ̀ púpọ̀. Àwọn kan tiẹ̀ ń bẹ ńbẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé àwọn lára àwọn ambassador yìí tí wọn ò yẹ. Ó dàbí ìgbà tá a bá sọ pé èèyàn fẹ́ kanlé ẹ̀ ó wá lọ fi shoemaker ó ní kó bá ẹ kanlé torí pé ó ti ń kan bàtà. Shoemaker ó ní kó lọ bá ẹ fi kanlé. N tó ń kó bá wa Nàìjíríà lélẹ̀.
If Bola Tinubu approaches you to work with him, would you?
It will never happen.
Okay, which of the scenarios, him approaching you or you accepting to work with him?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to betray privilege. Somebody from Bola Tinubu's camp has already reached out to me, and I told the person that, look, it cannot happen. I can't do it. It's just against my principles. I'm not. Some people can do that. It's not in my DNA. I can't do it. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I wish Bola Tinubu well if he eventually is sworn in and then the courts uphold his victory. But I can never work with him.
To my position, what do the Americans know that is causing them to behave the way they are? Number one, the Americans know that for a very long
fọ́nrán tí mo fẹ́ fi hàn wá yìí, ní ọ̀la ibikíbi tẹ́ ẹ bá wà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, àjàjà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ wà ní East Coast, ká ní pé irú mi ti tètè tí mo ti tètè ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ni tí ì ṣe pé holiday tó wà níta tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì wọ́n, mo fẹ́ lọ sí rally yìí. À ń lọ sí Capitol Hill níwájú Trump. A fẹ́ lọ gbé ọwọ́ Ted Cruz sókè. A fẹ́ lọ sọ fún yín pé a dúró tì í gbágbágbá bí ìgbà ẹkẹ́ bó ṣe ń fọwọ́ tilé. Ẹ̀yin Yorùbá, tẹ́ ẹ bá mọ̀ wípé àkókò ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ran Tinubu lọ́wọ́, kẹ́ ẹ ran ẹ̀gbọ́n mi lọ́wọ́, kẹ́ ẹ ran orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́, kẹ́ ẹ ran àwọn ọ̀dọ́ lọ́wọ́, ohun kan tẹ́ ẹ lè ṣe fún ìran Yorùbá ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ á sọ pé wọ́n ń gbógun ti Tinubu nígbà tó jẹ́ wípé ẹ ti fi orí sílẹ̀, ẹ dé fìlà síbẹ̀ mọ́, ẹsẹ̀ lẹ̀ ń dé fìlà sí. Ẹ ti fi ẹsẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ ti ń fi ẹnu rìn. Ìyẹn ni wípé ẹ ò mọ ìtumọ̀ nǹkan tó wà ńlẹ̀. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ kó mọ̀ ni pé wọ́n ti surround gbogbo ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ká. Ihun tí wọ́n sì ń ṣe nìyẹn tán bá ti rí wípé kò ságbára lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ẹ rí i pé plate number wọn wọ́n gbé síbẹ̀ pé we are born to rule. Born to rule dẹ̀ ni. Wọn ò mọ àwọn ló ti wà nípò láìmọye ọdún. Jonathan débẹ̀ wọ́n pààyàn sí lọ́rùn, wọ́n kó ọmọ sí lọ́rùn. Lóòótọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ó pẹ̀lú àwọn tó sọ wípé kí Jonathan kó lọ sinmi ara ẹ̀, kó lọ sinmi ẹ̀dọ̀, ẹ jáde ẹ lọ resign. Ṣùgbọ́n báyìí ṣé tí Jonathan bá sọ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kó resign báyìí, ǹjẹ́ Jonathan lẹ́bi? Ṣùgbọ́n Jonathan ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Jonathan sọ lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta nígbà tó lọ sí Guinea Bissau nígbà tó máa fi dé, ó ní kì í ṣe coup ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ nítorí pé ex-president tán gba ìjọba lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ex-soja ni. Ó wá wò wípé òun ò ní gbé ìjọba yẹn lẹ̀ fún àwọn alágbádá. Ṣé tí a bá tiẹ̀ wo Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, àwọn alágbádá àti àwọn ológun, kí ni alágbádá ti ṣe fúnra Nàìjíríà látìgbà tán ti débẹ̀ báyìí? Nígbà ayé ológun mo pẹ̀lú ẹni tó protest. Ológun wọ́n jẹ́ ká protest. Nígbà ayé ológun a ti gbé àwọn èèyàn lọ sí court tá a dẹ̀ jàre wọn dáadáa. Ní eléyìí tẹ́ bá gbé èèyàn lọ sí court, alábàjọ tí wọ́n á sọ pé go to court, tó jẹ́ pé òfò la máa bá bọ̀ ńbẹ̀. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí ló tiẹ̀ ń jẹ́ democracy gan pàápàá? Ǹjẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ fún wa? Ṣé ó wúlò fún wa ṣá? Ẹ listen dáadáa sí mẹ́sẹ̀gì arákùnrin ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadáa yìí, òun náà àfàìmọ̀ kó má ti dé US padà ní Láolú Àkàndé, mo fẹ́ràn ẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀.
authorities in Nigeria have not significantly gone after the perpetrators of terror and violence. Victims of killings don't get justice, and the terrorists are emboldened and boastful about the evil and the havoc they are causing. The Americans know that. The second thing that I believe the Americans know is that the Americans, and by extension the global community, also know that the Nigerian authorities are not unaware of the movement and the locations of the terrorists and the agents of extreme violence in that country. They know there are even well-publicized clear lines of communication between the terrorists and the people in government, both at the state and federal levels. The Americans know this. For instance, the Americans and the international community are aware that the Zamfara state governor, Governor Dauda Lawal, is correct that if and when the Nigerian authorities want to demolish the terrorists, they know where they are and they know what to do. But the Nigerian authorities have so far not done so. U.S. leaders point to candid views from top Nigerian voices such as Governor Lawal, showcasing insufficient political will to rein in and deal with the terrorists. The Americans know that. The Americans and the world have come to the conclusion that Nigerian authorities are more interested in negotiating with the terrorists and bandits rather than destroying them outright. The Americans have had allegations and reported cases where the bandits and terrorists were meant to be annihilated by some military onslaught, but they were altered, that means the military were altered by some political forces. The Americans know this. They even said that they know the military chiefs who ran into problems with political appointees who preferred to give the terrorist kingpins an opportunity to surrender when the military could have dealt with them and neutralized them. They even said that there hasn't been any such significant surrenders at all. The Americans know these things. The world knows these things. Number 4, the Americans and many in the international community have a fair idea of specific individuals who are involved in supporting terrorists and in encouraging extreme violence against Nigerians. This is how this was captured in a new bill that is on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. The bill is titled H.Res. 860. It was tabled earlier this month after President Donald Trump had designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And I'm going to quote, the resolution asked the U.S. State Department to, again, I'm quoting, to collaborate with the U.S. Department of Treasury to impose targeted sanctions, visa bans, asset freezes, and other restrictive measures on individuals and entities responsible for egregious religious freedom violations in Nigeria. Unquote. Even the resolution which I have seen mentions some specific names that I am not mentioning on here. Now, Empowered Newswire, in its digital daily newspaper, has also reported that a compilation of names of people to be sanctioned by the Americans is already in progress. So the Americans have a fair idea of these things. In fact, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas have even threatened to name some of those names publicly. Now, he couldn't do it last week because the Senate of the U.S. was not in session. In the end, the Americans and indeed the global community are worried. They are concerned that they haven't seen enough political will demonstrated by Nigerian leaders regarding the killings so far, which is why one must express delight that President Tinubu has declared that nationwide security emergency earlier this week. It is a welcome imperative. Mr. President, get on it. Go all the way. Change the narrative. Demonstrate that the political will is there. And when you do it, you will discover that Nigerians are right behind you.
Now, ṣé mo wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu 100%. N tí ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe ni ká ẹ ṣe. Mo rí fọ́nrán kan, àwọn wèrè èèyàn lọ síbàdàn lọ́dọ̀ Oríyọmí Hamzat. Wọ́n gbé fìlà lé lórí wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ń pè ọ́. Oríyọmí Hamzat fún ara ẹ̀ kò tíì sọ ibi tóun ń lọ sí. Oríyọmí ò tíì sọ òṣèlú tóun fẹ́ yà sí. Ṣé rí Yorùbá a gbádùn, ara wa ò yá. Ihun tó yẹ kán yàn, ọṣẹ tó yẹ kán yàn á lọ. Mo rántí ńgbà tí mo gbé bàbá Akin Fápòǹdà àti bàbá Ayélóge tí mo gbé wọn wá sórí program. Òun ló di ogun tó ń gbé ti bàbá Àròpọ̀ Èrè. Ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ gbé ìyá yín tí mo sọ pé ìyá yín fèkì ni, mo sọ fún yín. Ó pẹ̀lú nǹkan tẹ́ fi ń gbógun ti ìkànnì mi. Alala ńlálá. N tájá mi ó jẹ, èṣù ń ṣí sóríta tó sure jù. N ò sì fi brag, mo kàn ráàánú gbà ni. Ṣùgbọ́n pé mo wá jẹ́ ẹnìkan tí ó wá dákẹ́ kí wọ́n máa pa ìran mi, àbí kí Fúlàní ó wá jẹ president nígbà tí mo mọ̀ wípé a capable láyéláyé kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n ṣe sí Jonathan nígbà tí Jonathan wà ńbẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tó ń bí mi nínú fún ẹ̀gbọ́n kò ju wípé ó ń lọ fún second time. Ojú kòkòrò tó pa Ọbásanjọ́ tó ń lọ fún third time. Ojú kòkòrò tó pa Jonathan tó ń lọ fún second time lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Ọlọ́run gbé láti àwọn ipò kan dépò kan. Ṣé ẹ rí experience ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ò tó ti Jonathan. Jonathan ti ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ilé ìjọba. Ó ti di councillor, ó ti ṣe chairman, ó ti ṣe vice, ó ti ṣe kí ná tún ń pè é, ó ti ṣe igbákejì gómìnà, ó tún wá kú òǹbẹ ó wá ṣe igbákejì ààrẹ ó tún wá kú òní igbákejì ààrẹ ó tún wá di ààrẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kínní ó tún wá padà di ààrẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kejì ó wá fẹ́ àṣejù wá bá ló wá fi sọ pé òun fẹ́ tún gbé ọdún mẹ́rin míì ó wá fẹ́ lọ́dún mẹ́wàá bọ́lá ti ń ṣe irú ẹ̀ so irú problem tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ní lélẹ́yìí àṣejù bàbá àṣetẹ́ ṣé ẹ rí tí eégún bá ti jó lájòjù a máa ń padà rí kinní ìdí ẹ̀ ní ẹpọn ẹ̀ á jó jáde á jó jáde ihun tó ń bí mi inú fẹ́ gbọ́n nìyẹn gbogbo nǹkan tó kù ó wà òkè ó gbégbó fine ṣebí rẹnu ọmọ kiri lélẹ́yìí ó ti fi ẹnu kó ìgbẹ́ ẹ̀ ó ti fi kó jẹ àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run kàn dá gẹ́gẹ́ bí Tinubu yẹn tó jẹ́ wípé tó bá wá débi tó yẹ kí wọ́n lọ ṣiṣẹ́ tọ́lọ́run rán wọn ibẹ̀ ni ọ̀tá wá dìde sí wọn àwọn kan ní tẹ̀gbọ́n mi kó yíra wọn ò dá rárá ẹ wo irú ọmọ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ọmọ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ọmọ ẹ̀ làwa ń pè ní Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe ọmọ bíbí inú ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ ẹ̀ làwa mọ̀ sí ó máa ń láìkí Just Adétòun ó máa ń sọ ọ̀tọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí Just Adétòun sọ àwọn ọba èmi ò bá wọn bú ọba ṣùgbọ́n ṣe rí àwọn ọba wọn àti ìyàwó wọn àti kinní kan ẹgbẹ́ kan okùn bàbá ṣáàtù béèyàn kan bá ṣe gbàgbọ́ pé òun lọ́ba kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ordinary councillor a ní ẹ lọ gbàlẹ̀kẹ̀ lọ́nu ọba ẹ gbàgbé ọba nǹkan kan ọmọbìnrin kan jáde Ààrẹ Gani Adams àwọn òpin kí lè léyìn sọ it's just a ceremonial chief ní ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò kì í ṣe pé bí ọ̀rẹ́ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò dá kan rí ká AK-47 mọ́ lọ́wọ́ bí dá tó bá tiẹ̀ ní ìbọn kíní tó bá wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bóyá double barrel ó gbúdọ̀ ní láísẹ̀nsì ẹ̀ kàn sọ̀rọ̀ bùlà bíi kíní Just Adétòun ẹ̀gbọ́n nǹkan tọmọbìnrin sọ ọ̀rọ̀ gidi wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kan Sunday Igboho.
The mountain. There is fire on the mountain.
Nǹkan míì tó ju fire wà.
Serious fire on the mountain.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni mà.
We are on our own. Fellow citizens of Nigeria, we are on our own. We are on our own because, let me give you 3 instances why I'm telling you that we are on our own. So let us start putting heads together now and look for how to advise our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the solution. Because obviously, a country starts from a family to a community. Let me give you people a full gist. On Monday, all the obas, we thought that when their wife go and cry on their neck, they will also cry on governor's neck. Governor will also go and give Asiwaju the report that communities are concerned. So let us start looking of how to protect and secure individual communities. The wives of obas, they called a meeting. They contributed money to rent is the Oriental Hotel. Where did they go to? They even call Ashwebi, everybody should come in white, well dressed with makeup, only for them to get there. Fellow Nigerians, they did not discuss security matter for 2 seconds. I'm talking of just 1 second. All the top women, big women in the society. Thank God I was not around. They sent me to I should come and joke. Do you believe that they were only discussing how their kings are beating their wife? They are beating them to stupor. Oba said they beat wife. So who the SVA supposed carry now? Yesterday, Obas to had their own meeting. The meeting scattered. They beat because the fight is how did their wives have the audacity to gather themselves together and do a meeting and be discussing their domestic matters. They did not discuss Nigerian matter. But they said that Council of Obas should meet. We're in serious problem. Now, governors, Southwest governors, and I'm very sure, I'm very, very sure, I'm party governor, Governor Dapo, Naim, then wear Kampala, Ashwebi, nínú gbogbo rògbòdìyàn yà Dapo, ẹ tún náà ti mú Kampala. Sanwó-Olú, Governor Sanwó-Olú, ọkàn ẹ balẹ̀. Babájídé Sanwó-Olú, you wear blue filler on top Kampala una go discuss security. When bandits are giving us update on TikTok that they are coming, Lagos next, Sanwo-Olu, you still remember where to march. Tailor to Koshesi, Tailor Koshesi, Kampala, Tijide Sanwo-Olu. We are in serious problem. Fellow citizens of Nigeria, the only solution now that my head can think and my spirit is leading is to look for how to bring Sunday Igboho back. Sunday Igboho is what we need now. And what be Sunday Igboho? Whatever pardon, whatever lift, let them lift the ban.
Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń wo fọ́nrán yìí ṣé agree pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ẹ̀bẹ̀ agree pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Gbà tí wọ́n wọ igbó ìgàngbà yẹn. Ìní kan aṣojú Ìgbòho pọ̀ kókó bàbá aṣáàsùn Fani Káyọ̀dé tẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó gbé wá yìí ó alábọ̀dé ni ẹlọ́bọ̀dé. Kò péjọ́ mélòó kan tí Fani Káyọ̀dé lọ sílé Ìgbòho tọ̀ràn wọlé ilé Ìgbòho. Wọ́n fi ṣàǹbá ń sẹ́dọ̀. Ṣé rí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ńgbà tọ́lọ́run bá nà án lẹ́gba ẹ̀rí ojú wa ẹ̀ ló máa ṣe. Ẹ lọ kọ̀rọ̀ mi sílẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n kókó tí mo wà bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Just Adétún báwo ni a ṣe máa mú Sunday Igboho ẹgbẹ́ bá ní ọ̀ràn yín kò lórí ẹ̀.
On Sunday Igboho so that they can come and support police officers. Now, ẹgbẹ́ tó kù has said that they should withdraw VIP. Senate, those ones, you see the way they humble, they talk now. They are scared that they will be vulnerable.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Who bandits supposed carry if no be una?
Àwọn ni.
Who bandits supposed first bundle if no be una?
Kókó gbọ́ wọn mọ́ kó gbé ìran wọn.
If them never carry one of una, una eye no go clear that we are restless and our lives are at risk. So fellow citizens of Nigeria, if not to protest, we are ready.
Now, ṣé àwọn àmì wa wọn ò lè ṣe ni? Mo rántí ECOMOG, Liberia, Sierra Leone, àwọn ìlú kan wà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn sójà wa wọ́n ti lọ dá wọn láre. Mo fẹ́ fi fọ́nrán kan hàn yín ìtú tí wọ́n ojú nǹkan táwọn sójà wa ń rí. Ká máa pa odindi general ló kí God America yẹ kí n gbé flag America sẹ́yìn mi dáadáa. Ọmọ America lèmi. Àwọn kan ní mo sọ lójú àwọn èèyàn meeting mi nínú church mo ní mo dìbò Olúwa ẹ̀mí mi darí pé kí n dìbò fún Trump mo dẹ̀ dìbò fún. Mi ò regret ẹ̀. Ọwọ́ méjì fẹ́ nìkan Trump. Ṣé ó tí Trump ò bá wá sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ẹ ní rí nǹkan kan ṣe. Ẹ ní yan àbánsẹ́dọ̀. Ẹ ní yan ẹni tó sọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi onígbó ni onídrug ni kò ní rí yàn torí pé Trump sọ̀rọ̀. But Trump àti Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n gbóná ju gbogbo àrékérekè tẹ́ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ìlọ. Ẹ̀yin senators gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti jẹ báyà a máa tó ka orúkọ yín nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a wà ní orúkọ yín máa jáde láṣẹ Ọlọ́run inshallah. Agogo àdúrà mi dà kí n lu agogo lé lórí. Ó máa jáde àṣírí yín máa tú. Gbogbo yín wá sanction yín. Sanction tí mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kán gbélé yín lórí kán sọ pé ọmọ yín aya yín ìran yín ẹni tó bá tán mọ́ yín wọn ò gbọdọ̀ lọ sí Europe wọn ò gbọdọ̀ lọ sí Asia wọn dẹ̀ gbúdọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tó ní kàn gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ẹ wà ká fabẹ́rẹ́ gún yín wò kẹ́ wàá mọ̀ bó ṣe máa rí lára. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ wàá mú yín. Ṣé ẹ rí tí bá sọ pé Democrat pé ọ̀tá Áfíríkà ni àwọn èèyàn ní gbọ́. Ọ̀tá Áfíríkà láyé àti lọ́run Democrat bá ti wá bẹ̀ wọ́n ló ba gbogbo ìgbésí ayé wa jẹ́ ibi tàdé àti France àwọn ló ba tiwa jẹ́. Ẹ wo fọ́nrán yẹn wo nǹkan tí wọ́n fojú àmì wa rí àwọn àmì kẹ́ máa pa general ká mọ̀ rí. Ó yẹ kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi gan ti sọ̀rọ̀ lórí general tán pa yìí. Ẹ wá ń sọ pé kíni.
This is the hidden front line in Nigeria's war against terror. Footage filmed by a soldier and sent to DW News reveals the conditions his unit is forced to endure.
This is the place where soldiers are living. We face challenges during rainy season because of the leaky roof. We put tarpaulin up here, but it doesn't help much. So when rain falls, water pours in.
But his greatest fear isn't the leaky roof, it's the lack of ammunition. In a text, he told us, "We don't have enough arms and ammunition. Each soldier has 2 magazines and 30 rounds are loaded into each one. If the 60 rounds finish, that means they have endangered our lives. That is why you hear stories about soldiers running away from criminals or getting killed because we don't have enough weapons to fight them." For years, Nigerian soldiers fighting insurgents have posted videos like this online, complaining about poor welfare. With less than 300,000 active military personnel serving a nation of over 200 million,
ìdí tí a fi ń gbé gbogbo kinní wọ̀nyí síta. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ṣé Tinubu ṣé òun ló ṣe eléyìí? Èmi ń sọ pé kí ẹ̀gbọ́n ìwọ ni ó ní kò kárò ló ń jẹ́ ká pè ní chief commander of the army staff. Orúkọ tó jẹ́ nìyẹn, constitution yẹn fún ẹ lágbára. Àwọn tá ti gbé ọ̀rọ̀ oúnjẹ welfare àwọn army fún ẹ, ṣé wọ́n ń lo ògùn fún ẹni? Ṣé Fúlàní ń lo ògùn fún ẹni ẹ̀gbọ́n? Kí ni ọmọ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ń wá lọ́dọ̀ Gúnmi? Kí ló dé? Ṣé tí politics lẹ̀ ń wá débẹ̀ ni? Ṣé second time náà ló débẹ̀? Tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi tọ́jú àwọn army wọ̀nyí. Èyí tẹ́ ẹ ní ẹ̀ tọ́jú bí ìgbìnrà wọn, ẹlẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ lọ 30,000 army fẹ́ gbà yìí. Ṣé kì í ṣe bí ilé ẹnu ọmọ kiri lẹ fẹ́ mú wá bẹ̀? Fọ́nrán kan wà lọ́wọ́ mi. Wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kán gba recruitment ní Èkó. Àwọn ọmọ Haúsá tí ò gbọ́ English, àwọn ọmọ Fúlàní, wọ́n dẹ̀ wá sékòó. Àwọn tó ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ army yìí, the solution, this system have broken. The life have already broken. Kí la lè ṣe? Ọgbọ́n wo la lè ta? Devolution of power. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ò mọ̀. Iṣẹ́ kan ló ṣe kọ bill sílé pé lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ kán bọwọ́ lu state police, kán ṣe báyìí, kán ṣe báyìí. Àwọn tí ò fẹ́ ṣe, kí ló dé tẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rù wọn? Because of second time. Excellent. National Assembly representative, àṣẹ wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Gbé ìgbésẹ̀ akin. A wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀gbọ́n Tinubu. A wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwa kì í ṣẹni tá a sọ pé máa jó lọ. A fàdúrà wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwa oṣó a wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwa àjẹ́ a wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwa wòlíì a wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwa babaláwo, àwa àfáà a wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n. Mẹ́ta lọ̀kan lèmi. A wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Lọ devolve power. Àwọn àmì wa ń jìyà.
Analysts say the system is stretched to its breaking point.
Our soldiers, our military, they need to be motivated. We have soldiers out there that their salaries in a month is still not up to the minimum wage.
Nigeria is fighting a 16-year insurgency in the north, which has now worsened with the breakout of different criminal gangs. Thousands have been killed and millions displaced.
Nigeria is now number 6 in the latest global terrorism index as the country experiences a resurgence of violence by jihadists Boko Haram and other armed groups. Apart from civilian casualties, hundreds of soldiers have been killed in attacks on army bases and ambushes by militants who are believed to own more sophisticated weapons than the military.
Analysts worry soldiers could switch sides.
Haven't you heard that soldiers were involved in kidnapping activities in this country? Haven't you heard that soldiers were involved in armed robbery?
Despite years of these videos and unresolved investigations, the Nigerian government's official response is denial.
These are just isolated instances. You find, as always, a disgrace.
But my problem with these people is that tán bá fẹ́ rán àwọn wọ̀nyẹn wọ̀nyí, ibi táwọn tó ń jìyà yìí wà, ọmọ wọn ò sí ńbẹ̀, ìran wọn ò sí ńbẹ̀, àwọn ọmọ bíi Igbo, ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn ọmọ ìlú tó kù náà máa kó síbẹ̀. Fúlàní, kó jẹ́ pé Fúlàní ló máa control affairs military wa. Kí ló dé? Wọ́n ṣépè fún wa ni. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, ṣé ẹ lè fi agbára tẹ́ ẹ nísìnyí kẹ́ ẹ dá gbogbo military kóníkálùkù ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yìí náà? Mo ní mo wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀gbọ́n, mo ní mo wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni tó lè pa ẹ́. Òjò mi òjò yẹ òkè. I dey for your back o. I dey for your back. Èmi ò ṣe the person wey dey for your back like Wike. I know the person wey dey for your back like Reno Omokri tó sọ pé òun lọ sí Chicago tó sọ pé òun ti ráṣìírí ẹ̀. Me, I no be like that. Àbí mẹ́ta lọ́kan I dey. kan pé ọwọ́ mo fi gbá àyà mi ẹran mo dẹ̀ ń gbá.
Disgruntled elements of the armed forces, putting out such kind of video. But on the whole, I think this is not the direction. I think many of them are happy with what government is providing for them.
While the new army chief has assured that troop welfare is now his top priority, it's a promise soldiers on the front lines have heard before. But soldier who sent us this footage had a direct response to the official claims.
It's a lie, I repeat, it's a lie. They are not doing anything for us. Nothing. They are lying to the...
àwọn àmì ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Àmì kan wà níjọ́ kan. Ó kàn dùn mí pé mi ì rí fídíò yẹn mọ́ ni. Àmì yẹn tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbàgbé, kíní kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ńgbà náà lọ́hùn ní ojú ogun tó ń build morale àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ nígbà ayé Buhari, tó ń gbá wọn láyà báyìí. Ṣé ẹ rántí? Ẹ ẹ̀ believe pé wọ́n mú àmì yẹn níjọ́ kìíní, wọ́n ta á lọ́fà. A ò gbóhùn ẹ̀ mọ́. Mo ní ọ̀rẹ́ kan ńgbà náà lọ́hùn, ó ní tí wọ́n bá ti rí sharp shooter tọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ti straight gan, àwọn Fúlàní, wọn ò ní gbà kó lọ sójú ogun mọ́, wọ́n lè fìbọn padà ní. Wọ́n á fẹ́ fi kinní kan hàn yín. Ọmọbìnrin kan wà mọ́mì, tẹ́ ẹ bá lè ṣe nǹkan kan fún mi, mi ò fi YouTube gba owó, mo fi ń pass message tó ń ká mi lára nítorí ìran mi ni. Ẹ like, kẹ́ comment kí n mọ ibi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń wò mí, ẹ má bá ń dá sí i. Ẹ má kàn wò mí nìkan, ẹ má jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mi nìkan, kò ní ṣẹ̀yin nìkan, oṣù yìí a máa jọ lò já ni. Ẹ like, ẹ bá ń send ẹ̀ jáde. Ọmọbìnrin kan wà, ó ní ẹni tí gómìnà lẹ́ni yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. Ẹ máa gbọ́ o, máa play ẹ o. Gómìnà yìí ní ìlú ẹ̀ ńgbà tó wà ńbẹ̀, ìlú ẹ̀ ò lójú, kò ráàyè, kò rí mímí. Kí ló dé tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi lọ fi irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó lọ fi jẹ the national security officer lórí Nàìjíríà? Ó ní ṣé ẹ rí pé orí wa ò pé. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó bẹ́gbọ́n mi sọ.
Now, before we go into who currently owns the office, let's talk about what the Ministry of Defense is and what it requires. Ministry of Defense is the body responsible for national security. It is supposed to supervise the Nigerian armed forces, protecting our borders, overseeing defense policies, military intelligence, coordination of armed operations, procurement of weapons, and advising the president on all matters relating to national security, to the national security of the hundreds of millions of Nigerians across every nook and cranny of this country. Ideally, the Minister of Defense should be someone with very strong experience in military service. Someone with strong experience in military service, in national defense, national security, defense strategy, counterinsurgency operations, defense. Now, before we go into who currently owns the office, let's talk about what the Ministry of Defense is and what it requires. Ministry of Defense is the body responsible for national security. It is supposed to supervise the Nigerian armed forces, protecting our borders, overseeing defense policies, military intelligence, coordination of armed operations, procurement of weapons, and advising the president on all matters relating to national security, to the national security of the hundreds of millions of Nigerians across every nook and cranny of this country. Ideally, the Minister of Defense should be someone with very strong experience in military service. Someone with strong experience in military service, in national defense, national security, defense strategy, counterinsurgency operations, intelligence work, or at least expertise in defense administration. Someone who understands troop deployment, someone who understands conflict zones, military logistics, threat assessment, weapon procurement, and the very architecture of national security. Now, let's look at who we actually have as the Minister of Defense. Nigeria's current Minister of Defense is Bello Matawalli. Yes, the former governor of Zamfara State, the person who was the governor
Bello
between
Matawalle.
2019 to 2023. Yes,
Let
the
me ask.
same Zamfara that is one of the most terror plagued states in the northern region. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is his qualifications for being the Minister of Defense, right? His background is that he started off as a teacher in a government girls' college in is it
Teacher.
Morike and one other place in Zamfara State. Then he became a civil servant where he joined the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. And then he gave politics a shot where he ran and won a seat in the National Assembly and he left the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. That is in 1998 and he has been in politics ever since. He held multiple political positions, including being a House of Reps member at some point before he became the governor of Zamfara State. And somehow, despite not having a single strand of military or defense related experiences or expertise, not anywhere in his education or career, he is now in charge of national security for the entire country. This is
We
a
are
man
big
who
mess.
has never served in the armed forces, never officially trained in defense strategy, never managed a military operation, never worked in intelligence, and never handled any form of defense logistics. And yet, somehow, he is responsible for coordinating security operations against Boko Haram, against bandits, against multiple other terrorist groups and militant groups we have across the country. And here is what is more concerning to me personally. As the governor of Zamfara State, he could not control the insecurity in his state. Under his leadership, Zamfara remained one of the most terrorized states in Nigeria. But somehow, after failing to secure one state, he was put in charge of securing 36 states, including the FCT. And then we have the allegations. During his time as governor, he has been accused by the current governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, of basically frolicking with bandits.
Yes.
He has been accused of colluding with bandits, keeping bandits in the government house in Zamfara, paying ransom directly to terrorists, and procuring even vehicles for popular notorious bandit kingpins. When we say bandit kingpins, I mean people like Bello Turji. And if you think I was done, I'm not. Right after he left office, the FCC announced a massive investigation into allegations of extensive corruption, fraudulent contract awards, and the misappropriation of funds of over 70 billion naira during his administration. See, when I talk about politicization of insecurity in Nigeria, right, this is one of the very many examples of what I mean by that. When people with no defense experience, people with unresolved controversies, people who could not secure their own states, when these people are placed in charge of the national security of the entire country, it becomes clear that appointments are not based on competence, they're based on politics.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mọ́mì mi dádì mi tó ń wò mí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ọmọ yín lè jọ ọmọ yín lè éèjì kí léèjì ọmọ yín lè tó báyìí. This is a brilliant and she's a Muslim. I look honest researcher orí ẹ̀ pé ṣé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ò lọ́mọ kankan kò lọ́mọ tó kàwé bí ọmọ yìí tó lè advice ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tẹ́nu tèmi bá tiẹ̀ ń rùn. Bello Matawalle yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká wò bóyá ọmọ yìí parọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ leléyìí. Ọmọ yẹn sọ mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ ChatGPT mo ní ta ni Bello Matawalle? Ó ní Bello Matawalle is a currently Minister of State Defence of Nigeria. Ẹni tí ìlú ẹ̀ ò gbádùn nígbà tó wà ńbẹ̀. Before that, he served as a governor of Zamfara. But kí ni original political and professional background? Originally a teacher. Ó ní teacher gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́mọ yẹn ṣe sọ. What a brilliant girl. Between 1999 and 2003, he held state level commissioner position of Zamfara, e.g. local government, and chieftaincy affairs, rural empowerment of youth and sport. Ní 2003 to 2015 òun ni one of the National House of Representatives and Buka Modam constituency. Now, kí ni role ẹ̀? Role and responsible now as a Minister of Defence. Minister of Defence for a defence, Matawale is part of the federal government defence leadership. Now, ẹ jẹ́ kí n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ChatGPT, can someone as a teacher be a minister of defence to a serious country? Mò ń béèrè ni o, torí ó yẹ kí n fi serious sí, torí tí Nàìjíríà bá serious, a teacher background ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ yẹn ṣe sọ, mo wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ChatGPT. ChatGPT ń sọ fún mi, ó ní good question, ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ ó mọ́gbọ́n wá dáadáa, but ó wá ń sọ wípé why it can make sense to have a civilian non-military as defence minister. Civilian oversight is a democratic norm. In many democracies, the idea is that the armed forces should be subject to civilian political leadership, not other way round. Military governor inform policy, budgeting, oversighting the money. But nílùú tiẹ̀ ńgbà tó wà ńbẹ̀, okay, ChatGPT ti sọ, ó ní what's the challenge, what is the depend on complex security environment require capability adviser, a strong institution. If the minister has no military background, the effectiveness of the leadership depend heavily on qualified military officer, adviser and institutional check. Without them, lack of military experience could impair decision making, public perception and moral risk. Sometimes citizen and soldier may doubt the credibility of that civilian leader. Exactly, this is what we are. Ohun tó ń ṣe wá nìyẹn. Wàhálà tó wà ńbẹ̀ ni wípé láti ìgbà tán ti fi bàbá yìí tẹ́gbọ́n mi ti yàn án ní 2023 yìí, Nàìjíríà ò rọrùn, wàhálà ti pọ̀ jù. Ní ọmọ yìí, ọmọ ìlú ẹ̀ ni, ọmọ tó sọ̀rọ̀ tán bí yìí, ọmọ Zamfara yìí, ó ní ìgbà burúkú nìgbà ẹ̀ nílùú Zamfara. Ó ṣe wá jẹ́ wípé àwa tọrùn bọṣọ lọ. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, irú àwọn ipò báyìí, àwọn bíi Sàdókò, àwọn torí ẹ̀ pé, ṣé ẹ̀ nẹ́nìkankan torí ẹ̀ pé mọ́ tó dàbí Sàdókò ní ìran yín ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi? Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí bàbá yìí sọ.
This radical Islamism, is there provisions for it in the Quran or in the Hadith?
I mentioned the verses. Go and kill your neighbor. Go and kill infidel. Different verses in the Quran that mention almost 10 places in the Quran that Quran mention go and kill. In the Quran chapter 2 verse 119 say that slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. In the Quran chapter 5 verse 33 say men and crucify the infidel if they criticize Islam. Quran chapter 8 verse 65 say unbelievers are stupid. Muslims are urged to fight them. Quran chapter 9 verse 123 where I read, make war on the infidel living in your neighbor. In the Quran chapter 3 verse 28 say that Muslim must not take the infidel as friend. Wow. In the Quran chapter 8 verse 12 say, terrorize and behead those who believe in scripture other than Quran. In the Quran chapter 9 verse 5 say, when the opportunity arise, kill the infidels wherever you find them. In the Quran chapter 22 verse 19 say, punish the unbeliever with garments of fire, hot iron rods, boiling water melts their skin and bellies. So different places, even in the Quran chapter 3 verse 85 say that any religion other than Islam is not accepted. In the Quran chapter 8 verse 60 say Muslim must muster all weapon to terrorize the infidel. In the Quran chapter 9 verse 30 say the Jews and the Christian are furthest fighting. In the Quran chapter 47 verse 4 say do not seek peace with the infidel.
Kí lẹ tún wá? Orílẹ̀-èdè tó serious, ìlú tórí ẹ̀ pé ṣé wọ́n ń lo òfin méjì? Tẹ́ ẹ bá kúkú fẹ́ sọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà di sharia law, ẹ sọ́ di sharia ká kúkú mọ̀ pé a mọ ibi tá à ń lọ. Ṣé ìlú leléyìí ṣá? Ẹ wo ọlọ́pàá bó ṣe ń ṣe. Ṣé ìlú ni? Leléyìí tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí, ìlú yìí ó ti jẹrà, ó ti kú. Ẹ̀gbọ́n devolve power. Orúkọ ẹ̀ yìí ó máa lọ sínú sàárè o, devolve power yìí o.
Do your video. Police don't kill me. Oh yeah, now. Police don't kill me.
Please, don't wait for that, please. I was begging him at first.
Police don't beg me.
I've been begging people.
Don't beg me. Do your video.
I'm doing the video now. I'm doing the video. Why will I stop?
Mọ́mì Bákàrè, there is nothing like that in the Quran. Irú Quran wo lẹ̀ ń lò? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n béèrè níbí báyìí, mò ń bọ̀. Mò ń bọ̀ o, mo fẹ́ béèrè ní ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Okay. Ìyá wa tẹ́ ẹ sọ pé kò sí ibi tí wọ́n sọ pé kán ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú Quran. Mo fẹ́ wò ó ní online. I used to be a Muslim by birth. Ìyá Bákàrè, ẹ ní kò sí nǹkan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé Mùsùlùmí lẹ̀yin ni? Yes or no? Àbí ẹ ti kà á nínú Súrátù Al-Quran kan? Ẹ bá wa dáhùn. Torí mo ti gbé jáde báyìí. Ẹ wò ó, òun leléyìí. O, ṣé ẹ̀ ń wò ó? Mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ ChatGPT, mo ní is there any verse in Quran that says kill the infidel or unbeliever? Only good question. There are verses in the Quran that, when read plainly, have been interpreted by some as call for violence against disbeliever of infidels. However, what Quran does contain some passages speak about fighting or killing disbeliever. For example, a verse often cited is all kill them whenever you find them. But that verse appear in the context of conflict war involving the early Muslim community. Now, another verse addresses this debate is in Quran chapter 9 verse 5, sometimes called the sword verse, which is contain translation appear to command violence against idolatry under the specific historical circumstances. Only there are also a strong statement in the Quran that affirm the, the sanctity of the life and the prohibited of killing innocent people unnecessarily. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ìyá? While many scholars argue that the verse acting a blanket kill or unbeliever command. So the context now ni wípé àwọn conclusion is complicated. Yes, the Quran contain verses that face value speak about fighting or killing disbeliever. Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? So àwọn òun àwọn people ìtàn mú dání. Ìyá ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́? Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́ ńsìn? So wọ́n kọ sínú Quran. Bóyá bẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí kẹ́ ẹ lọ sọ fún wọn pé kán lọ wá nǹkan ṣe sí. Bóyá kán lọ fabẹ̀ ya kúrò lára àwọn tí Quran àwọn tán ṣẹ̀ ń ṣe. Bóyá kán ya kúrò nínú Quran. Kẹ́ bá wa kí n rán yín sí wọn bóyá ẹ lè bá wa ṣe iṣẹ́ yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ n padà lọ síbi tí mo ti ń bọ̀. Àwọn ológun wa leléyìí níbi tán ti ń jà fọ́nrán tí mo ní màá fẹ́ jáde fún yín. Ṣé ẹ rántí fídíò fọ́nrán yìí láyé Buhari?
Say it, everybody. Why you are crying because they kill your regular? That is not the time to cry. Look at me. That is not the time to cry. Good morning, sir. I'm standing here with Sector 2 Commander. The armed helicopter have just come over our head. The instruction I gave them, anything moving, they should engage it because most of my gun trucks are not moving. Like I said earlier, we are with the leading MRAPs and the 3 battalions are fighting and deployed. Nobody is running. But what we have here, I will give you some estimates to guide your good decision, sir. Boko Haram has fired more than 100 mortar bombs at us. They have fired more than 80 to 100 RPGs at us. In addition to more than 8 to 10 gun throws from every side since yesterday. We have not run, and the soldiers are not misbehaving or disobeying orders. We have casualties. I will come and see you in person on what we need to do, but we are not running. Neither is any soldier misbehaving or running. Sir, if you can look at that, that's one of our MRAP tire that is not run flat, that bullet tore. We have used more than 20 MRAP tires here. That's another one, sir. We have changed close to 250 e-loss tires due to the terrain. This is what we are facing in the Timbuktu Triangle, sir. But we are not running. We are fighting as a system, and we are doing our best to contain the situation.
Yorùbá ní ọkùnrin. Mo rántí ń gbà yẹn, tí bá yẹ pé mo rántí orúkọ ẹ̀ báyìí ni, bá sáré Google ẹ̀ kí ló padà ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Wọ́n bà ní ẹ̀. Fúlàní gbógun tì í. Òun ló jẹ́ kán rí ǹbá pa lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Ṣé mọ̀ pé ìwé kíkà yàtọ̀? Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. Mo wà lẹ́yìn ẹ o bí ike. Mo wà lẹ́yìn ẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń ṣe yìí, ẹ̀ ń dojú tì mí sà. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, ẹ wá nǹkan ṣe. Ẹ devolve power.
To achieve your mission, sir.
Here are our troops injured.
Record me. Good morning, sir. General Adeniyi. Sir, the soldiers are not running.
General Adeniyi. Jẹ́ kí n Google ẹ̀ kí n wò bóyá mo lè. What happened to General Adeniyi? Adeniyi, an army that makes video sometimes ago in the war front. Bóyá ó lè bá mi gbé jáde. Ó gbé jáde one time. ẹ jẹ́ kí n share ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tèmi. Ayé ti yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ dádì mi. Mọ́mí Bákàrè ẹ ní Mùsùlùmí ni yín tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. Kí lẹ wá ń sọ fún wa torí mo ti kà á jáde báyìí wọ́n ní Quran ní kán máa pààyàn, wọ́n ní kán gérí èèyàn. Mo kà á, ẹ ṣáà gbọ́ ńgbà tí mo kà á. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ defend Muslim ni àbí kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ? Ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀, bóyá kẹ́ ẹ pè wọlé, bóyá kẹ́ ẹ wá ṣàlàyé fún wa. Mo mọ̀ pé èèyàn dáadáa ni yín tiyín ò yẹ kí n ṣapààyàn. So torí tán bá ti ń pààyàn Allahu Akbar la máa ń gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn. Bóyá tẹ bá dẹ̀ pè wọlé ẹ lè bá wa defend wọn, ẹ lè ṣàlàyé ohun tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Bàbá mi Wàsíìrì, bàbá tó sure, ṣé ẹ gbádùn oṣù tó kọjá? Oṣù tẹ́ ẹ wọ̀ ẹ dẹ̀ tún máa gbádùn ẹ̀, ẹ tún gbádùn ẹ̀ á tún dùn, máa gbádùn kan sí i. Ọkùnrin tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ni bàbá Wàsíìrì. Mo ní kẹ́ ẹ pè wọlé sórí ètò, mo fẹ́ gbọ́, mo fẹ́ lo wisdom, kẹ́ ẹ fún wa wisdom. Ó ní this is General Adeniyi. Mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, mo ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí General Adeniyi báyìí? Ojú ogun ló wà yẹn o nígbà tó ń ṣe fídíò yẹn. Wọ́n padà lé dànù ni. Good question. Here is what happened to Olusegun Adeniyi, the army general who war front video once sparked controversy and how the situation unfolded. Who is Adeniyi? What video show? Olusegun Adeniyi was a senior officer in Nigeria Army in the early 2020. He was serving as a theater commander of the Operation Lafiya-Ado. The operation engaged Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast Nigeria. In widely shared video, Adeniyi complained public that the troop looked proper, weaponed, and equipped to fight Boko Haram effectively. He reportedly said insurgents had outgunned and heavily attacked troops using motors, RPGs, multiple guns, trucks, exposing weakness in military resources and logistics. In this video, he insisted that despite the casualties, heavy enemy fire, the soldiers are not running, implying they were fighting but under extremely poor condition. Because of this video's content, which seems to be critiqued the military lack of support for troops, the army leadership responds swiftly. What happened shortly, immediately? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí? Forward. Shortly after the video went viral, Adeniyi was removed from his position as threat commander of the Lafiya-Ado. He was deployed to Nigerian Army Rescue Center in Abuja, a much less operation role. The move was officially described as a routine deployment, but many observers link it into public controversy over inadequate resources of frontline troops. Later, in December 2020, a military court material convicted him of violating army social media guidelines by releasing the video. He was demanded for at least 3 years. Along with him, his aide, whose phone had posted the video, was also convicted. The aide received a jail sentence with hard labour. Níbo ni Fálànà wà? Ẹ̀gbọ́n Bọ́lá Tinubu, ṣé wọ́n ti release àwọn people ṣá láti 2020? What this means for him, army and public discourse. Adeniyi case is often cited as an example of the tension between military discipline, insecurity, and transparency when soldiers speak out about real conditions. His video offered rare frontline level admission of challenge facing troops, which many civilian and civilian society groups praised as brave and honesty. On the other hand, the military institution treated the act as a breach of its operational security or discipline rules. Hence, the court material mentioned that raised questions about the accountability, freedom of expression within security service and whether expression fail to discourage even when it may lead to improvement. If you like, I can check latest promotion. Adeniyi, mo fẹ́ mọ̀ kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Latest information. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí? Bóyá ká lọ ṣe rally. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Adeniyi lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí? Major General Adeniyi, what What do we know about Major Ajino's situation? 2020 military court material conflicted Adeniyi after a video was recorded in which he plain public about the court maintained order in his demolition by the last 3 years. Wọ́n demote after removal from front line. What is unknown or remain unconfirmed as 2025? There has been no credible public update confirming that Adeniyi has been reinstated to a frontline role or higher command. Multiple recent analysis describe his whereabouts unknown. It's not clear whether the motion or court material confidence was fully affirmed. Fúlàní ti ṣe Adéníyì níṣe. Some recent report in July article describe Adeniyi demotion and then disappearance from public view as emblematic of the suppression of truth in the military, but also his status, especially that there is no definitive information of Major General Adeniyi's current status. Some online social media-based piece claim he was retired quietly or being locked away. But their lack credible source has not Ọlọ́run o. Fúlàní ti bà Nàìjíríà jẹ́ o. Ọlọ́run o. Níbo l'Adéníyì wà o, ẹlẹ́dàá mi o. Ọlọ́run. Ṣé a wá rí èèyàn kankan báyìí? Ẹ̀gbọ́n ló wà ńbẹ̀ báyìí now. Mo trust Fálànà. It's either kí bàbá yẹn fúnra ẹ̀ ti retire jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́. Fálànà ò lè dákẹ́ sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. God. Bàbá Wàsíù Jìnàdù.
This is the hidden front line in Nigeria's war against terror. Footage filmed by a soldier and sent to DW News reveals the conditions his unit is forced to endure.
This is the place where soldiers are living. We face challenges during rainy season because of the leaky roof. We put tarpaulin up here, but it doesn't help much.
This is the one of the victims that were kidnapped along this Oshoko road. So,
kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Adéníyì gbọ́? Bàbá Wàsíù Jìnàdù jẹ́ mọ́ news nípa ẹ̀. Ìlú yẹn ti dàrú, Ọlọ́run bá ń gbọ́. Ẹ wo ọmọkùnrin orí ló yọ o, ẹ gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu ẹ̀.
he run out from the captivity of the bandits. So what is your name?
My name is Onoja Joseph.
Okay,
I'm coming from to Abuja for my COS this thing. So we are inside 18 passenger. 18 passenger bus when this thing happened. We are marching to the inside the bush. They have been taking us for like we are crossing for like 3 hours. We have been crossing the different type of river. We cross like 7 rivers. It's only 3 that is a big river, very deep. So on our way going, they are maltreating some people that are not cooperating. So how I manage the escape is that immediately I see that everywhere is getting dark, and I hide myself inside one bush. Okay. That was why I escaped. So as I was coming out, I saw 3 men outside that night.
In this village?
Yes, in this village. I was even thinking I am safe in their hand.
In the Shoko village?
Yes. I was even thinking I was safe in their hand. When I started, they were asking me questions like, those people I have bike, something like that. They're all gone. There are plenty. I said yes. That was when they started calling them. Why will they allow someone to escape during the operation?
Then they are speaking language.
Yes, they are speaking the
Kaba language.
Kaba language. Yeah.
So you the year small.
Yes.
Because you understand Yoruba.
Because I understand Yoruba, now it make me pick up.
Yeah. You are from which state?
I'm from Benue State.
Benue, they speak Benue language and
no, I speak. Yes, I speak Benue language.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni,
And they
bàbá wa
understand
sí
Yoruba.
kò sí rọ́mbẹ̀.
That language with Yoruba won't mix together. I make me hear as they call and say why which bus they operate yesterday in the earlier today. Can't say they operate 18 passenger. Can't say yes. Can't say one escape. Say why they go let person escape out of them. Can't say we can sit down and say I can't tell the man say I dey come make I go toilet. Can't say make I toilet for here where they see me now. Can't say I person where they shy. Say make I move from small. Now here I run.
Ẹlẹ́dàá ìyá ẹ̀ tẹ bá wo ìyá bọ́ọ̀yà àjẹ́ nìyá ẹ̀ àbí kí bàbá ẹ̀ dàbí èmi oṣó yìí àwa tá a lóṣó wọn gbogbo ẹ má ti gbógun tì mí lọ́lọ́mọ bá mi ń bàjà bàbá wà sí ríjìnà lu ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí ọmọ yìí sọ ẹlẹ́dàá ẹ̀ ló yọ ó kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn agbénipa nẹ́tíwọ́ọ̀kì àwọn pípù yẹn ti pọ̀ ó ti di bàbá ńlá business àwọn tó ń gbé tí mo sọ pé wọ́n gbé ní ọ̀nà kìíní sí mo rí mẹ́sẹ̀jì wọn mi ì rí fídíò yìí tán sẹ́ǹtì mi mọ́ àwọn tó ń gbé wọ́n ń béèrè 100 million lọ́wọ́ wọn ọkọ̀ àtayà wọ́n ti sọ di business àgbákàmọ́ báwo ni ká ìṣòro sí ṣé ká dákẹ́ ká máa wòran rẹ̀ ọgbọ́n wo ni ká dá sí ìgbésẹ̀ wo ni ká gbé sí ọwọ́ yín ló wà ẹni bá lóògùn bàbá wà sírí jìnnà jù tẹ́ bá lóògùn egbé ẹ wá kọ́ mi lóògùn egbé tẹ́ bá lóògùn egbé bẹ́ẹ̀ màá máa tà lórí Amazon egbé.
When you people come across the attack, like what they carry and their numbers.
They carry a lot of weapons. They even carry weapon. They even get weapon wey be say be like say they no fit hold am. Na on top bike the mash and put wey they dey shoot.
And if you
the people wey pack us enter the bush different than the people wey march us go. People wey dey use bike dey carry person dem different.
Ṣé rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn nẹ́tíwọ̀kì wọn pọ̀ àwọn tán kó wa wọ gbóòsà bàbá Wàsíìrì àwọn tán kó wọn wọ gbó ọ̀tọ̀ àwọn tán kó wọn lé lọ́wọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ àwọn tán tún wá fi machine gbé wọn lọ ọ̀tọ̀ Nàìjíríà ti dàrú ẹ jẹ́ kí everybody lọ gbàbọn ẹ̀yin ẹ wo bọ́n ṣe ń fi Sẹ́ríkì wọn jọba ẹ wo. wọ́n ti débi ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ ni àpọ̀sí ọ. ó gbé machine dé ó ṣakọ ẹ̀rí mi ó ṣakọ wọ́n sì ń dírẹ́sì wọ́n ń dírẹ́sì kí Sẹ́ríkì tó fẹ́ jẹ wọ́n ń dírẹ́sì fún wọ́n ti dírẹ́sì fún ó wá tẹ ìbọn ó wá déwájú ẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣakọ ó kàn ń yànbọn sókè ni gbàrà wọ́n dàbọn bò ó ìbọn yẹn kàn yìí ti pa ìbọn yẹn ti bá àyà ẹ̀ gbogbo àwa ọmọ Yorùbá nǹkan tó máa gbẹ̀yìn ẹni tó ń gbógun tì wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn àwọn káàbọ̀bọ̀ àwọn gbẹ̀yìn fọ́ ẹ ṣe òfé ìrìnàwọ̀ olùdó lórí ẹ̀yìn náà yìí ẹjọ́ mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ó gbèkú jẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀fọ́ra wọn ti já orí ẹ̀ dànù ẹ jẹ́ ká fi yẹn sílẹ̀ bó ṣe tó máa gbẹ̀yìn ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá sọ wípé òun fẹ́ jí wa gbé òun fẹ́ jí ọmọ wa gbé nìyẹn ẹ máa sọ pé àṣẹ Rẹ́nú Ọmọkèrè gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti ṣọ̀tá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bí Yẹrù Ọmọkèrè tó ti fẹnu ẹ̀ kó ọ̀ràn ẹ̀ jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa kó ibi wọn jẹ.
What lens do you view this reports, let's put it that way, ahead of next year's activities, and what course do you expect events to take during the course of next year?
Look, I went to Chicago myself. Nobody told me I went to Chicago myself. I went to the court where Bola Tinubu had this issue. I went to the Chicago State University. I went there, I saw the documents myself. Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. I went there. Another person isn't telling me. You see the picture on the screen? I took that picture. If you move to the right, you're going to see me in that picture. Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. He has this man who is meant to be the Minister of Labour and Productivity, or rather say on productivity, who went on TV to try to hoodwink Nigerians, telling them that the charge against Bola Tinubu was just for tax, that all he paid was tax, and he had nothing to do with drugs. That is a big lie. I have the document here. Nigerians can see it. I hope you can see it on the screen here. I have the document here. It actually says, and if you look at it, it says docket. A docket, and as I'm speaking, your viewers can go on Google and fact check me. A docket is used for a criminal pending, a criminal pending. So you don't use a docket for a civil matter. And then right on the very first paragraph on this docket, it says that this is a forfeiture action under section under 21 USC section 881. USC is the United States Criminal Code. I will say it again. USC is the United States Criminal Code. Now, if you're watching at home, you can go on Google and you can fact check me. The United States Criminal Code is Title 18, USC, United States Criminal Code. And I'm going to read what section 881 of the USC, the Criminal Code, says. Now, this is it. I'm reading it. Nigerians can see it here. This is what I'm reading. It says, the following shall be subject to forfeiture to the United States, and no property rights shall exist in them. All monies, negotiable instruments, securities, or other things of value furnished or intended to be furnished by any person in exchange for a controlled substance or listed chemical in violation of this subchapter, all proceeds traceable to such an exchange, and all monies, negotiable instruments, and securities used or intended to be used to facilitate any violation of this subchapter. The word used there is controlled substances. Now, for Nigerians who may not understand this, a controlled substance are what they call narcotics, hard drugs. In this case, it was white heroin. Bola Tinubu was involved in a white heroin cartel. And he was the treasurer of that cartel. And then he put some monies into an account. He was working for Mobile. And as he was working for Mobile, his salary was $2,400. Yet he paid in a total of $1.4 million into several accounts. Now, he was asked to explain how he got those monies. He could not explain how he got those monies. So one of those accounts, the money's in there, $460,000. It was forfeited to the United States government. It was not taxed. Now, there is only one agency of the United States government that has been given the authority to take forfeited amount, and that is the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. If you look at the case of the U.S. state, the state versus Ishmael Zambalda, who was the leader of.
Lára àwọn tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi lọ fi ṣàǹbáṣẹ́dọ̀ lélẹ̀, ó rí bàbá mi Waziri Jinadu ńbẹ̀ kó fi ṣàǹbáṣẹ́dọ̀, ìyá mi Muinat ó rí ńbẹ̀ kó fi ṣàǹbáṣẹ́dọ̀. Ẹ wá lọ ń fi elé onírùngbọ̀n chóróchó yìí tó jẹ́ pé betray ayé mi eléyìí.
Lower drug cartel. The exact same language that was used in this docket is the exact same language that was used for that man, Ishmael Zambalda. And if you're watching me, you can Google it. That it says that you agree to forfeit $5 million to the United States. Word for word with what was used for Bola Tinubu. The only difference is the amount. Bola Tinubu forfeited $460,000. Ishmael Zambalda forfeited $5 million. But the source of the money came from the same place, drugs.
Yeah, but let me come in very quickly. So some people, of course, of the school of thought will say to you, forfeiture is in fact a civil proceeding, not a criminal proceeding. What do you say to that? Also, an indictment is an allegation. Not a conviction. There is that school of thought around it. Does it hold any weight for you?
No, I have a master's in law from the United Kingdom. The man who came to speak, what's his name, Festus Keyamo, and look, the Legal Practitioners Privileges Council, they have to sanction Festus Keyamo because what he did was either very dishonest or very ignorant or both. And you've got foreign embassies who are watching this and they have equivalent titles to the senior advocate of Nigeria. If they watch on television this man speaking so ignorantly and so dishonestly, they're going to tell their own governments that, listen, we need to stop having equivalency with the senior advocate of Nigeria because standards have dropped. A forfeiture flows from look, you can have forfeiture in a civil matter, which is rare, but most forfeitures will flow from a criminal charge. Most forfeitures will flow from a criminal charge, and you also have it here in the EFCC in Nigeria. You can check it in the EFCC in Nigeria. You have several governors who have gone to jail. I don't want to mention their names because I don't want to hurt their families, but they forfeited their houses, they forfeited monies in their accounts to the federal government through the EFCC. It's the same thing with the United States. It wasn't a civil matter. I mean, I just showed you the docket. I mean, I hope your cameras can catch it. If you're watching me on at home, go on Google. Don't take my word. Assuming Reverend Omokri is lying to you, check the word docket. A docket is not used for a civil matter. This is a criminal matter. Look at it here. It says there, I'm going to read it for you. Docketed July 28th. And then it says that verified complaint of forfeiture. Is a complaint used in a civil matter? So, I mean, these people, they are trying to hoodwink Nigerians. They are trying to pull the wool over the eyes of Nigerians. And it's so disappointing that...
Reno Omokri ni ó lóun lọ sí Chicago nígbà tí wọ́n wá sí Chatham House ní London. Reno Omokri gbé placard Tinubu dọ́gba rẹ̀ olè, Tinubu olè, Tinubu dọ́gba rẹ̀ olè. Mo ti mọ̀ nígbà tó ṣe rùngbọ̀n ṣẹṣẹrẹ tó kó sínú mọ́tò tó fẹ̀ sẹ́yìn mọ́tò tó sọ wípé ọ̀nà coastal road tán ṣe ló dáa jù láyé, ó ló dáa jù ti Amẹ́ríkà, ó ní kò sí. Ṣé rí àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kẹ́gbọ́n mi ò sá fún wọn ò dáa, wọ́n máa ba ìgbésí ayé èèyàn jẹ́ ni àwọn gẹ́ràgàrà wọn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ń lo 14 laws of book, ó ń lo chapter 2 ẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe lórí àwọn ẹni ẹlẹ́nu méjì yìí ni ibẹ̀ yẹn ń sọ. Ó dáa kéèyàn wá ọ̀tá mára, kéèyàn jìnnà sí wọn, kéèyàn send wọn kán máa defend èèyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí 14 laws of book ṣe sọ. But irú àwọn eléyìí, ó gbé ìwé yẹn jáde báyìí ni pé amugbó ni ẹ̀gbọ́n, pé òun ló jẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gan sọ pé kí ló dé tẹ̀gbọ́n ò lè wá sí US, tó lè wá fúnra ẹ̀ yọjú sí United States láti ìgbà tó ti travel ò lè wá síbí. Àwọn people wọ̀nyí má gbára lé wọn. Now, Pastor Bakare, bàbá mi Waziri Jinadu, ó ní Pastor Bakare, ó ní United States, ó ní Trump epo Nàìjíríà ló fẹ́ wá ranjúmọ́, ló fẹ́ wá kó. Ṣẹ́yìn náà gbà bẹ́ẹ̀? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wá lọ lo ẹ̀rọ ayélujára. Bóyá Amẹ́ríkà tí mo wà bóyá wọ́n lépo, bóyá wọn ò tiẹ̀ ní. Torí ìtòkùtò gbáà ni. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ mọ̀ pé Amẹ́ríkà ṣe discover àgbákàmọ́ oil bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Trump ń ṣe àgbákàmọ́ iṣẹ́. Mi ò ṣe mistake ni mo dìbò fún. Ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ gbárí mọ́lẹ̀ kó lọ gbárí mọ́lẹ̀. Mo like nǹkan tí bàbá yìí kọ. Bàbá mi làjà 41 30 22. Kí ni ìtumọ̀ nọ́mbà orúkọ yín kẹ̀? Ṣé kóòdì kan ni? Ṣé kóòdì tẹ́ fi ń jẹ owó nìyẹn bàbá làjà? Ẹ má gbàgbé ọmọ yín, ẹ fún mi kóòdì yìí náà. 30 kìíní kan 21. Tẹ́ bá fún mi, ẹ trust mi, màá fún bàbá Waziri, mi ní lájẹ. Ọlọ́run bá ń gbọ́. Mi ń ṣe aládìkanjọpọ́n. Kí lẹ fi ọgbọ́n wo lẹ ń tà sí? Wọ́n náà wọ́n glad o tí àwọn kinní wọn ò bá àwọn kí lórúkọ ẹ̀ ṣe. So now, mo fẹ́ fi kinní hàn wá ni, ẹ má bínú. Túndé Bákàrè, ṣé ẹ rí àwọn ẹlẹ́nu méjì wọ̀nyí? Mo hate wọn, Ọlọ́run bá ń gbọ́. Mo ṣe research kan sìn, ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ kà. Research tí mo ṣe leléyìí. Mo ní, I have a question about US. Does United States of America have oil reserved? And if yes, wọ́n lè lo oil wọn tó gbà ó. Ó wá ní, yes, United States does have oil, and yes, it maintain oil reserves. USA oil reserve and oil. The United States have proven crude oil reserve. As of end of 2023, US proved reserve of crude oil and least condensate stored at about 64.4 billion barrel. 64.4 billion barrel òun ni wọ́n ní reserve. In addition, the US maintain a large strategic stockpile and a strategic petroleum reserve (SPR). As of 2025, the SPR contain roughly 400 million barrels of crude oil stored in underground salt caverns. How long could this crude oil last? Exactly how long depend on heavy consumption and all that. Only but the crude oil right now that US have may last decades. Only current level reserve alone would last several decades. So tí Túndé Bákàrè bá sọ pé kí Amẹ́ríkà má wá sí Nàìjíríà torí ìdámẹ́wàá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni Túndé Bákàrè, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni. Gbogbo Yorùbá, irú bàbá mi Làjà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni. Bàbá mi Wàsíù bá ti lórúkọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni wọ́n. Tọ́rọ̀ mi bá sọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni kíní. So kí Túndé Bákàrè, ayé ti yàtọ̀ sí ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ máa wà lórí ọ̀tà tí kan máa sọ pé Ọlọ́run sọ pé nínú Bíbélì tí kẹ́ ẹ tó sọ àwa ọmọ oró àti mú kíní wa àti tẹ̀. Bible verse 2 sọ nǹkan tá a kà débẹ̀, nǹkan tá sọ débẹ̀ àti máa mọ̀. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ìdámẹ́wàá ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé gbájúẹ̀ ni? Bíbélì sọ fún wa pé ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá operate nínú òfin àtijọ́ yẹn pé ẹni ẹ̀gún ni. So ẹni tó bá ẹ̀yin ṣe lè lọ mú ìdámẹ́wàá nínú òfin àtijọ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ mú pípa ẹyẹlé tẹ́ ẹ̀ mú wá sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ lè yọ ìdámẹ́wàá nínú òfin àtijọ́ yẹn kẹ́ ẹ mú wá kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ wípé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni. Olè ni gbogbo yín. Lẹ́yìn ìdámẹ́wàá ọ̀hún kò sọ wípé crops náà pé then kí ni storehouse ibi tán ń kó oúnjẹ sí ni. So ẹ̀gbọ́n Túndé Bákàrè lọ sinmi má jẹ́ á jà o, má jẹ́ ká jà. Ẹ̀ ń bá sọ pé kí Trump bá sọ pé kí US má wá dá sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà wọ́n ti ká wa mọ́. Irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ kúkú yà ni. Wọ́n máa gbé yín jìọ̀jìọ̀ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n máa gbé yín jìọ̀jìọ̀ ni. Ẹ dà lárùn wọ́n máa rù yín kiri ni. Áńgẹ́lì mi á lù yín. Áńgẹ́lì àìsàn á lù yín ẹ̀ ní kú. Wọ́n máa gbé yín, ẹ yarọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Babangida. Agbára Ọlọ́run. It will a lot of resources to refine American oil. Honey. Kí ni bàbá mi Àlàjà sọ? Mo máa ń like àwọn èèyàn gidi tán máa ń wò ká máa dá sí program. Kì í ṣe pé ká wò ó bẹ́ẹ̀ ká má dá sí. Kí lẹ wá ń wò mí fún? They don't need the oil but they need you to trade all your oil in dollars. That's why. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bàbá mi Làjà, mo fẹ́ béèrè kinní kan lọ́wọ́ yín. Nílẹ̀ ní tó mọ̀ yín Zamfara kò ní wọn ò ní airport but plane ń balẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ ń kó góòlù. Góòlù wà ní Ọ̀ṣun state. Àwọn ọba kan ló ń kó. Nílùú tèmi mo gbẹ kòkó tí mo jogún lọ́wọ́ bàbá mi wọ́n gbé China wá bẹ̀ kó wá fadà ni. Ó fá kòkó tèmi. Dẹ̀ sọ pé ẹni tó gbé China wá kò ní kúre tó bá ti kú, kò ní sùnre tó bá ti kú. Tó bá lọ́mọ sáyé ọmọ ẹ̀ wọ́n máa fá ọmọ ẹ̀ kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ ni. Àdàbí ojoojúmọ́ ń gbé wọn ṣépè. Ẹ bá sọ pé ìpè ẹnu mi torí ẹ̀yin òkè mo fò òjò ni mí, màá fèpè bà tiwọn jẹ́ tí mi bá níbọn tí màá fi jà. Èpè mi máa ń ṣẹ o. Kéèyàn má rò pé bóyá kíní mi ò threat o, bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. So dádì mi Làjà, àǹfààní wo tẹ́ ẹ bá òun ló jẹ́ kí n sọ pé kíní kan 41322 yìí ó ní ìtumọ̀. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹjọ́ ń jẹ́ ẹ fọ̀nà hàn wá. Torí mi ò mọ bá a ṣe máa ní góòlù bá a ṣe máa ní gbogbo nǹkan tí ò ṣe wá láǹfààní. Nǹkan tẹ́mi gbọ́njú bá mo sì mọ cocoa house mo dẹ̀ ti mọ free education t'Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe mo dẹ̀ ti mọ àwọn resources tó wà ńlẹ̀. Àwọn farms tí Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn a rí kankan ńbẹ̀ mọ́. Ṣé bí kòkó náà fi ṣe? Eléyìí tán wá tá a dìídì rí kí la fi ṣe? Tẹ́ ẹ bá lè sọ fún mi. Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ bá lè agree sọ fún mi ó better ká trade ní dọ́là yẹn. Ó pè mí o torí nǹkan ò dáa ẹ̀sà aláwọn arábì ti ba ayé ọlọ́ta wa jẹ́ wọ́n wà everywhere. Lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tí mò ń bá yín sọ yìí wọ́n gbé àwọn èèyàn mi kan àwọn tó súnmọ́ mi ni o mi ò ṣeré o. Mi ò ṣeré o. Bàbá mi kan tún ti sọ̀rọ̀ níbí àwọn tó rí ẹ̀ wà ńbẹ̀. Peter great àwọn tó bá ti ní nọ́mbà lẹ́yìn ara ń fún mi sí wọn olówó ni wọn olówó. Ẹ̀yin ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tí bàbá mi sọ lélẹ̀ bàbá mi Làjà ẹ máa gbọ́ ó ní I have over 12 pictures of secret mining site in Ọ̀ṣun, Kwara, Kogi and Ogun State ṣe ti gbọ́. So kì í ṣe ṣẹ́rí kì í ṣe ìlú north nìkan àwọn ọba wọ̀nyí gan ṣe bí ẹ gbọ́ just Adétóun ò kì í sọ nǹkan tí ò rí náà bóyá ẹ̀ tí wọlé ṣé kí n replay ẹ̀ àwọn ọba lọ ṣèpàdé ìyàwó ọba lọ ṣèpàdé wọ́n lọ ń jà ní wọ́n ń nà ìyàwó wọn àwọn ló wà ń di ẹ̀ sà àwọn ló wà ń di ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí ó ti kọjá owó gbogbo wọn wọ́n ti di kú mọ́ wa wọ́n ti di kú mọ́ wa àmọ́ ìlú I'm telling you sir òun náà ni bàbá ẹ̀ tún confide 12 mining site 12 Ọ̀ṣun, Kwara, Kogi bàbá mi Peter Mandi àbí òun ló sọ ọ́ sí àwọn iṣẹ́ rí àwọn ayé ti yàtọ̀ sí tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà tí ó sí social media àṣírí ti tú òun ni mo dẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa ibikíbi tó bá lọ tó bá ti rí anything ya fídíò ẹ̀ má fi para yá má jẹ́ kẹ́nìkan ń sọ kínní ẹ yá everywhere làwọn pípé wà o.
àti ẹ̀rísòwò àwọn máa pariwo.
àdúrà la ní ìdìbò ẹ̀yẹ owó mà ní.
àdúrà ló ń gbọ́n.
ẹgbẹ́ yẹn gbé dà. just calm down let's calm down.
inú gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ wà.
wọ́n wà nù gbó.
ẹ gbọ́ báyìí iṣẹ́ ìdíbà yẹn.
ṣe wọn wọ́ràn ní bọ́n ṣe kó àwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn ẹ gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀yẹ̀ kan yẹn táwọn kan bá ti kó wọn àwọn tó mọ fífọn sí ń kó wọn àwọn tá gbogbo everywhere náà wà tán bá ti wá àpò owó yẹn tá ẹ sọ kí náà fowó yẹn ṣe ẹ wòran.
Allahu Akbar.
Yẹ rí nǹkan tó bà mí lẹ́rù fún Áfíríkà bàbá Wàsírí jìnnà dúró à ń pé mùsùlùmí ni ṣé aláwàkùbá ò ṣe ó kàn mọ́ dédé wá ni torí kò yé mi ṣe téèyàn bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ibi báyìí aláwàkùbá ò ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ máa sọ ni màmá Bákàrè ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí náà lẹ pera yín ẹ dá mi lóhùn o títí ẹyẹ bá ti ṣe aláwàkùbá ò ṣe ó mọ́ dédé wá ni àbẹ́ ẹ̀ kàn fi ń yangàn torí kò yé mi ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi fọ́nrán kan hàn yín wọ́n ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ọmọbìnrin náà ìbéèrè tán béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé ọmọ ẹ̀ mà ti ń dánkẹ́ ìwọ àti ìyáálé ẹ̀ ẹ̀rẹ̀ká mà ti yọ ọmọ ti tẹ kíní ìwọ náà lé listíìkì ayé mà tọwọ́ yà ó ní ìyá ó ta nínú mọ́ ni ó ta fúrádé nínú mọ́ èmi kẹ̀ láyé ń bí kọ́ mi ò ta fúrá èmi ni ó mọ̀ ta fúrá ọlọ́run ní bá tèmi jẹ́ ọgbọ́n ló wá ta sẹ́ ọkọ wa ti rówó gan ọkọ wa iṣẹ́ wo lọkọ wa ṣe agbéyàn ni kidnapper lọkọ bí ń ṣe báyìí nígbà tí ò dá kan mọ̀ ẹjẹ́ ò lọ sùkú ẹja gbọ̀n tó.
Yau muka zo.
Ku daina kawo mana fura da nono.
Wani fura da nono? A yanzu liyafa ta ci gaba.
Kun yi kuɗi shanu sun wadata kenan.
Wallahi mijina ne ya canja sana'a. Ai yanzu wallahi Allah ya taimake mu yanzu. Ai yanzu sai dai mu shigo gari mu siya kayan abinci mu siya atamfa mu koma. Yanzu kaga atamfar ma na zo siya.
Wace sana'a yake kenan?
Ai wallahi yanzu mijina ya canja sana'a yanzu kishmashin yake yi.
Oya ìyálé ẹ fẹ́ fọwọ́ bọ̀ lọ́gbẹ́ ìwọ ọmọbìnrin ó dẹ̀ fọ́gbà yánga ó kọ́ràn án lẹ̀ ó bà nǹkan jẹ́.
Shin yake yi.
Fọwọ́ bò lẹ́nu.
Ai mun kuɗi ba matsalar mu bane wallahi don ko yau ma. Yau muka zo.
Ku daina kawo mana fura da nono.
Wani fura da nono.
Kò dá kankan mọ̀ ó wò wípé nǹkan tó ń kà á sí iṣẹ́ ni wọ́n kà á sí iṣẹ́ gidi náà kà á sí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti wá sọ di iṣẹ́ báyìí bàbá mi Làjà bàbá mi Peter bàbá mi Wàsírí ẹ jẹ́ ká dìbò oníkálukú lọ dira má dira lọ dira wọ́n ti sọ kinní ìdí iṣẹ́, wọn ò kà á sí anything, wọn ò kà á sí wípé kò dáa. Àwa la wò wípé iṣẹ́ náà wọ́n ń kà á sí o. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tó bá wà ní Washington State ní Washington DC ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa 500 lálá ń béèrè tẹ́lẹ̀ but báyìí more than 1,000 people wọ́n ti fi orúkọ sílẹ̀ tán máa lọ support Ted Cruz láti lọ ṣe kíni, láti lọ fi ẹ̀hónú hàn ní Capitol Hill. Ẹ pàdé wa ńbẹ̀ ní ọ̀la yìí, ẹ pàdé wa ńbẹ̀ ní Capitol Hill. Kí la fẹ́ ṣe? A fẹ́ lọ protest, a fẹ́ lọ sọ fún Trump wípé gbogbo àwọn tó wà nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí orúkọ wọn kan release wọn kan dẹ̀ sáṣẹ wọn, ọmọ wọn ò gbọdọ̀ gba treatment nílùú òyìnbó, ọmọ wọn ò gbọdọ̀ school nílùú òyìnbó, àwọn fúnra wọn gbogbo nǹkan tó ní kán sì sí ẹ, gbogbo tó ṣe gómìnà rí, ètò ṣe president, gbogbo wọn pátápátá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wà Nàìjíríà, kí gbogbo wa kidnapper kúkú kidnap everybody. Tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tí cancer fẹ́ pa, ẹni tára ò yá, Tinubu gan ò gbọdọ̀ travel out, kí gbogbo wa ká dúró síbẹ̀. Ẹ bá fẹ́ travel out ẹ gbé jù sínú túbú, a lọ máa fún gàrí àtẹ̀pà ńbẹ̀. Mo gbé fún ẹ̀yin Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà o, mo gbé fún yín.
Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà o, Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà. Orúkọ ti tèmi ni Commandant Ọlá, tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ọmọ kóòtù òjíire. À ń fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún gbogbo wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan tá a bá wà pé pánsó fura pánsájá náà àjò fura ajá ti jì, tó nílò bá fọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ tí kò ní gbogbo ibi tí a gbọ́dọ̀ láti gáìdì lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá a wà yìí. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn tí láti ògèrè wọnú Mòwe, láti Mòwe padà sí Lótò, láti Lótò tó fi wọnú inú gbogbo inú Gbósòro, inú Fákalẹ̀, wọnú Ìṣàgámù padà. Wọ́n ti surround ibẹ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n ti surround ibẹ̀ yẹn to the extent débi wípé ó ti kọjá bí a ti rò. Àwọn pípù yìí dẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí, àwọn ò kì í jàjọ̀ sán o. Lérò pé tá bá mú ìyá wọn, tá bá mú kinní wọn, wọ́n dẹ̀ sì wà pẹ̀lú wa, àtijọ́ ń jẹ àtijọ́ mu.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣé irọ́ wà ní nǹkan tí bàbá ẹ̀ sọ, bàbá ọ̀rà wà ṣeré jìnnà dùn? Torí àwọn ló ń gbé gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́kadà tí Yorùbá ní báyìí, wọn ò jẹ́ ẹ̀gọ́ ọ̀kadà wọn mọ́, ọ̀kadà Fúlàní lẹ̀ ń gùn.
Jọ́ mu báyìí. So èyí jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì, gbogbo àwa tí a wà ní Ìbàdàn, ní àwa tá a wà ní Ìbàdàn láti inú kí lórúkọ Amúlòkó, láti Amúlòkó tó fi lọ sí Dùgbẹ̀, Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ Irin àti ọjà Ọlọ́ndá, gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n ti surround ibẹ̀ pátápátá. Wọ́n ti kọ́ńkà bẹ̀ yẹn tó yẹ pé wọ́n á pẹ̀lú full ammunition gidi ló wà níbẹ̀. Láti ká kúrò níbi ibẹ̀ yẹn ká lọ sí ká padà sí Adébáyọ̀, láti Adébáyọ̀ yẹn tó fi wọnú Ìjẹ̀bú Àwà níbi ọjà Mọ́mù yẹn, gbogbo onúgbó tíìkì yẹn pátápátá àwọn bandits wọ́n ti kọ́ńkà bẹ̀. Ká tó wá padà sí ṣáìdì ọ̀nàdọ̀ wa ní Ògìjò níbí báyìí ní Ogun State, láti Ògìjò gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe bólàbólà ní ibi ibẹ̀. Torí ẹ̀ la fi ń sọ wípé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ jẹ́ community kọ̀ọ̀kan, ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ti máa ṣe meeting. Ẹ ní àwọn security bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn sìn, ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ti wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ti máa rú wọn lágbára, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti máa wá ibìkan fún wọn kí wọ́n máa parade, kí wọ́n máa wà níbẹ̀ always. Gbogbo yín ẹ̀ ń wà kọ̀ọ̀kan mi, ó ti yé. Tó bá àwọn pípù yìí wọn bá eré wá, ẹni tó bá mọ tó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ wọn kò sí ẹni gbàdá kó wọn fojú rí dípò pé yóò fi ti gbọ́. Gbogbo ẹ̀ láfi ń fi àsìkò yìí láfi ń sọ fún gbogbo àwọn yẹn, a lè wà lágbègbè kan ká tó mọ gbàdúrà ká gbé gbèbè ó bàjẹ́. Mo dẹ̀ fi àsìkò yìí mo fi kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ mi nínú Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà pátápátá, lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, Ògún ò ní fẹ́ jẹ wá wẹ̀. Àjà ló ń tijú mi, àwọn ọmọ jagun àjàyè ni, lágbára lọ́wọ́ Olódùmarè tó nílé ayé. Àwọn ogun àìnípadà dé kò ní bọ́ títí wa torí Ògún.
Dare to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items, 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. That is why those who want unity and peace in Nigeria must first remember that the name of our